the subject though, you remember earlier when I mentioned like Jupiter's moon, Europa? Do you actually think there could be like fish in space? For lack of a better word.
No. Otherwise they wouldn't be fish.
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't be a fish. Fish exist underwater. There'll be some scientific term to identify something as a fish, and if it's in space, I don't think it'd identify as a fish.
No, not literally in space. On Europa, right?
I don't know what you're on about with Europa.
Europa is the name of one of Jupiter's moons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently they found out that most of its surface is all aquatic.
It's covered in water.
Well, it's covered in ice, but underneath the ice it's all water.
So do you think there could be aquatic creatures in there? I mean...
Well, there's a lot of people saying that there could be. Even scientists have been saying that there's a possibility that there's shit up there.
Well, I mean, as long as... this has always been the thing about sort of like aliens, are we really alone in the universe kind of topic, where, in my opinion, like, there's gotta be. The amount of millions upon billions of, not even just planets, but like galaxies. Aye. Just think of how fucking boring the galaxy would be if there was just us.
Well, not so much boring, more I'd consider it more disappointing and even a little bit unnerving to find out that the entirety of existence, we're the only ones with intelligent life, and sometimes I even doubt that intelligent part.
Because there's that fact where there's more planets than there is grains of sands in our planet.
Really?
Which is like, I don't know if that's actually a fact, but that's just what someone made up. I can't remember where I read that, but apparently that's what someone believes. A fact, I don't know.
Infinite universe is a possibility. You don't consider that, do you? Like, I always knew there's like probably a load of planets, but as many planets as there are grains of sand on this planet, that's just mental.
Well, if you think like our solar system has what, 8 planets off the top of my head?
I'm still a bit on edge about Pluto.
There's 8 planets if we're discounting Pluto.
I'm a bit hesitant to discount it. Like, I'm not going to go on a mad one, like, say, there's a planet and all the scientists are wrong. They had reasons, but, you know, like, we grew up being taught about the 9 planets, and then suddenly out of nowhere, Neil deGrasse Tyson shows up and says it's a fucking celestial body or something.
I thought they counted it as a moon, because it's not big enough.
More or less. I hate to tell they found clouds of gas on it that might make it a planet again, but... And I'm all for that, but, you know...
Well, I'm just going to officially discount it, because it's been scientifically discounted.
Alright, I'm not disagreeing with scientists, but, you know, like, still...
No, I'm just got... No, I'm not either. I'm just going with along with what they say, because, I mean, realistically, they know what's best, but whatever, I really couldn't give a shit.
I'm not sure about knowing what's best, but they know what it's
I'm just discounting it for that reason. So, yeah, back to my point, there's 8 planets in our solar system.
Aye.
How many solar systems are in our galaxy, and how many galaxies are in the universe? I think that's the scale. Yeah, universe comes after galaxy.
Yeah.
And we're not going on to the topic of how many universes are in our universe and multi-universe and all that shit.
No, let's just keep things simple.
Man, my brain's gonna explode.
Aye.
Fuck, I hit him on the chin.
Your brain exploding would be like a small party popper going off. Anyway, yeah, with all that, there's got to be like something out there that's
no effing way is that all there, and there's just us.
It doesn't even have to be intelligent life. It could just be like bacteria or some shit.
Yeah, we hear it all about all the time. Like, we found another Earth-like planet. It's like, okay, so there must be life on there, surely. Because, like, where did our life come from on Earth? What designated this Earth-like planet to have life?
I mean, like, if it's like Earth, I mean, like, exactly like Earth, then surely there's got to be, like, shit on it.
Makes sense. It can't just be us. I refuse to believe it. I'm not so sure about intelligent life and all the rest of it. Because I always thought, especially when it comes to movies, when the subject of aliens, they're all 90% of the time they are more technologically advanced than us.
I mean, like in a movie, they'll always be the ones to make like contact, even if it's like an invasion.
Yeah, they're the ones where they'll always come to our planet.
Yeah.
And they'll have spaceships with shields and laser guns, and they'll just be technologically superior. And they're the ones that are coming to our solar system.
You're thinking Independence Day there, or?
Well, that was my main inspiration, yes, but just in general.
Aye. I see what you mean. The point still stands.
Whereas, like if you take it from Avatar, for example, the humans are the aliens. We're going to a different planet, and we're the ones who are more technologically superior.
Oh yeah. You said Avatar, then I was thinking that Nickelodeon show for a second.
No, not that one.
Ang in Space. There's a spin-off. Yeah, I see what you mean. In Avatar, we used to technological superior ones, but we still got our asses kicked. What?
Yeah, but still, why is it always dictated that we're the ones behind in technology?
I don't know. Tell you what though, on Europa, everyone's thinking like we've come close to finding life, or there is life, but we just haven't found it yet. Because like on it, right, the ice on Europa is like several feet deep. Like we'd have to proper drill through it to get to the sea. And people say like, if we can find some way of drilling through it and then dispensing like a little robot submarine or something to go around, then we can actually try and find life on it. And there's a good chance we might, if not like something like a fish, even something like a shrimp or something, or krill. Like I'm not saying like we'd find krill on it, but like we'd find some sort of life form.
The Europa equivalent of krill. I know
Yeah.
where you're going.
Yeah, basically. And if we find a Europa krill, we might find a Europa whale. Imagine that.
Or Europa's fucking Reaper Leviathan. Fuck me. Problem with that is, I'm all for it, but our technology at this moment in time just can't do it. Like, we struggled for quite some time to at least put man on the moon, and the moon is literally in our own backyard, astrologically speaking.
It's very close by. It's a pretty easy target. And we managed to get to our own backyard, but we haven't managed to get next door yet to Mars.
Like, I know we've put, like,
rovers and that.
Probes, but like robot, yeah, that kind of shit on Mars.
Yeah, what's the name of that rover that went up a while back?
Loads of telescopes.
Yeah, what's the name of that rover?
Loads of telescopes.
What?
Lol, we're supposed to be speaking at the same time.
You said something about telescopes?
Yeah, and we've got all these like telescopes in space to like see into space, and we've found millions of black holes, big planets, and all this other interesting shit, but it's all out of our reach. Like, we can't do anything with it. We have like, going a bit sci-fi here, we have like no hyperdrive or spaceships or anything to actually effectively explore. We can only just observe.
Aye, we can only observe the universe, never to interfere. You're right, it is sci-fi, it's like the Time Lord thing.
Because our current rockets are literally just controversial, no, not controversial, conventional, that's the word, fuel rockets.
Aye.
No, like, interesting thing about them, I'm pretty sure that kind of technology has not changed for like the last, since it was done.
They keep saying they can do something with dark matter, but that's a long way off.
That's what I'm about to say. That's going to go into way complicated territory.
It's not even a fuel thing that's the main problem. It's like oxygen and supplies and all that to actually sending people. I mean, if we can't find a way of like replicating or creating oxygen in the ships, then we're pretty much stuck.
I don't think that's much problem. The problem is building and designing the ship to do that. If you had, for example, like a colony ship, which had like, I'm going to make a really obscure reference here, and I'm not going to know if you're going to know this, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Have you watched Power Rangers Lost Galaxy and you've seen the Terra Venture?
I have actually heard of it, to be honest, but not seen it.
If you can picture that is what I'm sort of going for. Just like Google image it like a little bit later.
You have to type it down.
What?
Type down the name of it, because there's no way I'll remember it.
Right.
So, like, terraforming a planet, you mean?
No, the Terra Venture's just basically a giant colony ship where there's a small city/town on it with like loads of people.
It's a bit like Red Dwarf.
Kinda, except a much larger scale. Well, I don't know how big Red Dwarf is.
It's about 6 miles long and about 4 miles wide.
No, the Terra Venture's definitely a lot bigger than that.
Holy shit.
Well, to be fair, the Red Dwarfs, that's just for like the last human in it, with like a few other things on it.
Well, there's like 164 people on it in the beginning. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So that's still a lot of people. I mean, that's still a lot of space, but not a lot of people.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of people, but Terra Venture's scale is more like thousands and thousands of people. In the main central bit, there's the colony ship, the colony half, which houses a town.
Oh,
and there's loads of thousands of people by going about normal average day life.
Aye.
Just like any other town. And then coming off it, there's like small pods which house different facilities. One's a food facility, one's a energy facility, one's a water facility, so it can generate stuff. If we can make that, then we won't need to be like bothered really about making like all that kind of shit, because it's already there in the ship.
Well, we'll have to make it to actually put it in the ship.
Well, yeah, but still. Or if we just found a better way of travelling rather than just conventional fuel.
What, you mean like teleporting and shit?
Well, maybe not that much, but yeah, kind of some more advanced ways of an easier method of transportation.
Aye.
It'd be a lot easier, because then we wouldn't have to prepare like a 30-day mission to Mars, like stocking up one human's worth of like 30 days of food, water, and all that shit. We could just go to Mars in like a week or something. If we like cut travel time down, we wouldn't have to prepare as much for it.
You mean like something like create our own wormhole?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know how. I'm just saying a quicker method of transportation. I don't know in what form, like hyperdrive or wormhole or teleporter or whatever.
So you think until we can do something like that, we're going to either need a ship the size of a fucking city just to contain all the fuel, and
we either need a giant colony ship so we can just replicate food, water, and everything we need. So we don't, because the problem with like space stations at the moment, I don't know exactly how they work, but I'm pretty sure like once a week or something they have to send a supply ship up to it to top it up, basically.
Sort of once a week. I think it's like
I imagine it's something like that. They can't just keep it up there without sending something up to it.
I know what you mean. I think they're like drone ships though, not manned.
Yeah.
I think they are.
Whereas, like, instead of doing that, you have the colony ship which replicates everything it needs, so it doesn't need things to come and visit it to top it up.
Aye.
Or you just cut travel times down by a lot, so you don't need to top up because you can just get there, like, really quickly. Because obviously the problem with the colony ship, it's freaking huge, so it's going to take ages to get there, but it can replicate itself, so it doesn't matter.
Aye. When you say replicate, you mean like it takes all these atoms and particles and then just like forms something.
It basically self-sustains itself in a life cycle. So obviously, I'm imagining something like this. You have like.
Well, to self-sustain something, you need to figure out how to make like something out of nothing, basically.
No, but you can still have a cycle. So, for example, like you could have some livestock to create manure, so you can create fertilizer, so you can create crops.
Well, see, when you said livestock there, I thought me, but...
What?
I have them there just to shit about, so...
Yeah, no, but...
That's what I was saying,
and then you use the... And then the livestock create manure, which you can create fertilizer with, which you can grow crops with, which you can then feed the livestock to create more manure and fertilizer, and then just goes round in a cycle. That's what I mean by like self-sustain.
So a space farm.
Yeah, basically something that self-sustains itself, so you're creating something from something, but it is self-sustainable. So you don't need to send a ship up to top it up.
You have to create a fair amount. You have to take a fair amount of pigs, though. Like, if you just take a few, then they're going to end up inbreeding, like to create more of them, and then that's just gonna like warp shit or something.
Well, yeah, but the colony ship scale will more than enough be able to handle all of the pigs we're talking about.
I suppose it would keep the gene pool relatively clear, I suppose, but you know what I mean. Back onto that Europa thing, though. We wouldn't even have to go up there ourselves. We could just send a drone. It would have to drill through the ice, though, in order to do it. In order to just drop the submarine.
Take how long to get there?
Well, have you ever heard of this thing called an ion drive?
Sounds familiar, but I've not actually.
It's like some sort of propulsion, but it runs solely off electricity. Like no fuel or gas or anything.
So it's basically sort of like a car battery with an alternator kind of thing.
No, not like a car battery. Like the actual propulsion comes from the electricity. It doesn't need to take fuel or anything. It just it looks a bit like a glowing light at the back of it.
Yeah, I know. I see your point, but that's what mine was more of.
If you
have the car battery to propel the car along, but you also have an alternator alongside in it charging the battery, so it just goes forever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, all these satellites and that, they have massive solar panels on them anyway. So just if we made something like that, it'd work. We wouldn't have to use up all the fuel anyway to get there, even if we can't. I mean, like you've played Kerbal Space Program, right? Where you just get into a suitable orbit, and then you can just switch off all the. Indeed, I have, but now you're just going to put images into my head of just Kerbals.
Kerbals doing what? Silence. That's just not a good sign. Anyway, well, you know what I mean. Like you get it correct on its orbit, and then just wait for it to reach a spot, and then you'd use the fuel.
Yeah, so like you're abusing sort of the fact that there's no gravity in space, so you just.
Well, you're not abusing that fact. You're using that as an advantage.
Yeah, just exploiting how it all works.
You make it sound like we're cheating science by using the things science gives us.
We're not cheating science. You're just exploiting the system that's there.
All right, fine. I'll say we're exploiting it. Yeah, you can just there's no gravity. There's no shit to hold us back. No resistance.
Yeah, well, there's no gravity, so you just point in the direction you want to go, blast a bit of fuel off, and then you're just going to go indefinitely until you get some other propulsion in some other direction, because nothing's going to stop you until a certain body, Europa, takes you in for its gravitational pull, and then that just pulls you in, which you don't need to use fuel for.
Well, you need to use fuel to break that orbit and to try and get
you
need
to use a bit of fuel to boost in the direction to correct any mistakes, which will most likely happen, and then to break your fall so you don't just crumble.
That's the only real reason for the fuel. I mean, like all the rest, like the drill and the submarine and all that, can be done with electricity. Have to be a lot of electricity. There'd have to be a pretty powerful fucking drill to get through the ice. Tell you what, though, I have to wonder if we do find like life and up there. What do you reckon we do then? Would we actually try and get a manned mission up there?
That's where I'm going to go back to my point of. It's not really feasible at this moment in time with the current.
Well, not at this moment in time, but at some point. I mean, they're still working on it.
But I suppose at least that would encourage us to work towards that.
No, what would really encourage us if we found a sentient life form out there, like a planet, and the planet sent us a message saying like, "Hey, come on up, we're having a massive party up here." That would get us in a scramble.
Yeah, like, oh my god, that actually just brings me nicely into my next point. Which is like way off topic, but kind of resembles what I'll have to do about this, what we're on about when I mentioned it. I watched Interstellar last night.
Interstellar. Oh shit! Which one's that now?
555.
Oh! I thought it was on about that
No, not the Interstellar. No. I'm only going to watch that once because I didn't really like it.
No, no one did. What did you reckon to that?
To be fair, it could be Gravity. Holy crap, that is the shittiest film I've ever
Gravity?
watched.
Yeah.
What, you didn't like it?
Is that the one with Sandra Bullock in it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that film. I thought it was really shit.
Well, I thought Arrival was boring.
The problem with that film is it's one of the most Marmite-est things I've ever seen.
Marmite.
By which I mean, that's
actually pretty good. What, you either like it or hate it?
Yeah, everyone either loved it or they actually hated it.
There was times, I admit, where it felt like it was trying to be more than what it was.
The problem I had with it was that there was just Sandra Bullock just like in the same bit of space for an hour, not doing much.
Well, she did do a fair amount. Like, what else is there to do? Like, when you...
I watched it a while ago, so to be fair, I can't remember the story that much, but I'm pretty sure...
Same here, I'm just trying to think. I remember George Clooney dies.
She's on a space station that goes down or blows up somehow.
No, she's on a shuttle doing some shit to a satellite, and then the Russians shot a missile at one of their satellites that they don't need anymore, and all the debris just come and fucked up their day.
Yeah, and then they spend another half an hour floating through space to another shuttle, which then they use to get back down to Earth, and then that's the film done.
It was like they went to the space station, but they found out that's taken a massive beating as well, and everyone's already evacuated it, and the only shuttle there doesn't work anymore. Then George Clooney floats off and dies, and apparently there's another space station right round the corner. To be honest, I enjoyed the film, but I get where you're coming from.
There wasn't really a lot happened. You obviously remember it a lot better than I do, but you pretty much just pointed out why I thought it weren't good. There was nothing happening.
Aye.
It was, this space station's going to blow up next. This space station don't work next. This space station's going to get us to home. Done.
It's like Three Bears. This space station is too hot. This space station is too broken. This space station is just right.
Yeah, that sounds like how I marketed it.
So what did you reckon to Interstellar? Getting back on topic.
Yeah, we did. We went way off topic, lol.
Yeah. Well, we kept on the subject of space, which is something, I suppose.
Yeah. It kind of like this other animated music video I've watched called Shelter, which you've not heard about probably.
No.
Where they're both the same thing. They're both, well, Shelter's 6 minutes and that's an hour, so there's that difference there. But there's no dialogue in either of them, and it tells a mini story through the songs with nice animation and art.
Aye.
It's the same concept, it's just different stories and animation and art.
Same concept but done differently.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, but I know what I'm on about.
Yeah. So did you like it?
It was nice enough, but I probably wouldn't watch it again.
And I get what you mean. Like, watch it again. It's mostly for the songs.
Yeah, which I could probably just listen to. And the only song that I took away from that was definitely the intro song of One More Time.
Not everyone remembers One More Time.
There was a few other songs, but in my opinion, they weren't memorable enough for me to remember them, even though I just watched it last night.
What about Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger?
No, can't remember it.
Oh shit, that's one of my favourites, that.
Lol, rip.
The story was okay.
There you go, the story is like...
Preferred Sheller's story.
Basically, story is like, you get it as a band in space, right? Another planet, and there's a band on it, right? Really
I know what the story is. I fucking watched it last night.
Oh, right, didn't know it was last night.
But wait, what? I can't remember what original topic we're on, but that's what that reminded me of, because you basically just explained that.
Yeah, we went from Europa to space travel to I think it was Gravity, and then back to Europa, and then Interstellar. That's not the first thing we had was some Nautica, so.
We were on a topic, and then you just reminded me of Interstellar because you were basically describing it. But I can't remember what that was, what we were originally on about before.
Aye.
No, can't. It's left my mind. Fuck.
Okay, so it reminded. Was it that music video you was talking about?
No, I can't. No, it's left my mind completely.
He said it's funny you should mention that because I watched Interstellar last time. Oh yeah, it was about Party in Space. I said like
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what you meant. Yeah, said if we got an invitation from another planet, that gets into a bit of a scramble to get up there.
I think as scientists goes would probably be satisfied with any sort of life that they find, even if it was a Europa version of a shrimp.
Aye. Yeah. I wonder if they do a good prawn cocktail, Europa shrimp.
I highly doubt we're going to go to Europa and find the Gungans, though that would be interesting.
Yeah, find what?
The Gungans.
The Gungans?
Star Wars? No?
I never really got into Star Wars, did I?
Oh, you're not a Star Wars person. Well, everyone else knows what I'm on about.
I tell you what, though. You ever seen Red Dwarf?
I have seen Red Dwarf.
You see that
The first thing that springs to mind when I think of Red Dwarf is just Craig Charles. That's all I can think about.
Well, it's Bollywood's main star, so. What?
Craig Charles is the master of mayhem.
Aye.
That's literally the only reason why I've watched a bit of Red Dwarf, because Craig Charles is master of mayhem. Is that bad? That's probably bad.
What, you didn't like Red Dwarf?
And the times when my dad's watching it and I just walk in, it's like, what are you watching? Instantly recognise it's Red Dwarf.
Alright.
As long as I don't like it, I've not actually sat down and watched it.
You neither hate it nor love it.
Well, I can't really say I hate it all of it because I haven't.
No, that's what I said. You neither.
Myself.
That's what I said. You neither hate it or love it.
Yeah.
Aye. I get what you mean. It's like there's an episode like what we were just talking about.
If I sat down and watched it, a few episodes, I probably would like it.
Aye. I get where you're coming from there. I've been like that with a few things.
Oh God, no! That's just remembered something. Does that mean I got to start calling you a smeghead?
Oh God.
That's something I've just remembered off that. So yeah, I would like it. If I watched it, I just watched it.
Well, there's an episode in it a bit like the whole Europa thing. There's a planet, a sea planet, and a ship goes down there, a spaceship that's also a submarine. I don't know if there's a technical term for that. They set a biological process in action, getting 3 million years of evolution in 3 solar years or something like that. And then they go down to check it. Then something goes wrong. Then 3 million years later, they come along. And they come find out. They said all these readings will show there's hundreds of sea life but none of them there, and that's all the crew have committed suicide. And they find out there's this giant fucking squid thing out there, and the ink it emits makes you want to kill yourself. I mean, that's one hell of a defense mechanism.
That's pretty good, I suppose.
Yeah,
that literally just sounds like Subnautica, except change the squid to coronavirus and you're done.
But what? That once makes you want to kill yourself?
No, it's just an infection. It doesn't make you want to kill yourself. It's infection.
Yeah, if it gets bad enough, you've heard people shouting, "Kill me!" when they're really in pain. Wow, that really went morbid, didn't it? Anyway, if you find something on Europa, then it's basically that's it. We found life can exist, and we just have to find it, even if it's not life. Well, we're expecting. Tell you what, good example was. Did you ever watch Thunderbirds as a kid?
Who didn't watch Thunderbirds?
Aye, exactly. Did you ever see the movies they did though?
I'm pretty sure number 5 was the spaceship, but I can't remember actually seeing that.
No, number 5 was
number
the Space
6?
Center.
Ship, station, center, same thing.
Yes.
That giant red thing in space.
No. Number 3 was the spaceship.
No.
It's still sort of right. Anyway, did you ever see the movies that they did?
No, I did not.
And I don't mean that shitty one in 2003.
No, I've not seen any of the movies.
They did one like where there's this giant spaceship, they call it the Zero X, where it goes to Mars, right?
Yeah.
They try it first time. Then the hood, you remember the hood, right?
Yeah.
He gets all snarled up in the works. Like he's snuck aboard. He's trying to take pictures and that. His foot gets caught in one of the ring mechanisms, while it's still in the atmosphere, and the entire thing crashes into the ocean. That being like the crew evacuates, and then like 2 years later they're trying again. They've got it all built, but they don't think the security is good enough. And they get Thunderbirds to help them out of it. They get to Mars, and while they're there, the Tracy's they're listening into the transmissions. And it turns out that while on Mars, they encountered a type of life form that they didn't know could exist, like a type of rock life form, a rock snake that shoots fireballs out of its mouth. And they say they thought we'd find life as we know it, but they found life as we don't know it.
Sounds like you just described Onyx, except it used a TM and learnt flamethrower somehow.
Describe the what?
Oh yeah, you don't know Pokemon.
Lol. Whoops.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's something else for you to look up. Look up Terraventure and then Onyx, done.
You're gonna have to write these down in Messenger.
Mm.
And anyway, that's the thing. What do you think of that? Like life as we don't know it. We're always looking after carbon life forms, but what about if we find something like that doesn't resonate on our scanners? You ever think of that?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, obviously, if life is going to exist out there, it will exist as stupidly as it does on this planet. Which, that being said, instead of going out into space, we don't actually know a lot about our own planet. Morely focusing on what's in the ocean, especially like the seabed.
We still don't know all that yet. We're always looking for giant squids, but the only ones we find are fucking dead and washed up.
Because you see a few Discoveries channels things that go on about like there's alien-like creatures in our own oceans.
When I say alien, there's just something strange to us. It's not alien. It's not come from off planet.
No, but it looks like it has because it looks weird.
I know what you're saying. I've heard of what you're talking about, but it's like basically they just found something weird and they've called it alien.
Like it's from Earth, which doesn't make it alien, but it looks like it might as well be an alien.
We like the wake. I just thought that looked a bit like an alien.
If we're on about mythological shit, what about like Bigfoot, Loch Ness?
Well,
do they actually exist, or is people just making up shit?
I like to think that's some way they do. I mean, like, I'm not going to go... I'm not
exist or make up shit?
What?
They do what?
Exist.
Exist or make up?
Exist. I like the mystery more than anything. I mean, like, if it was definitely proved that there was no Bigfoot or Loch Ness monster, then yeah, I'd be kind of disappointed.
Well, the problem is, if there was evidence, we probably can't get it anymore, because I highly doubt those kinds of creatures, if they did exist at one point, exist at the moment.
Oh, but you mean like he would probably be dead by now?
Probably, yeah.
What if it could breed asexually?
Well, I'm pretty sure they would have done that long ago, and we would have definitely seen evidence of them by now, if that was the case. But especially like Bigfoot, I'm pretty sure that's just like some sort of Homo sapien gorilla type thing, which will probably live roughly around about 100, 150, something like that.
I suppose where I see where you're coming from. But still, if you find a skeleton of Loch Ness Monster, then I'd be happy to know that it was there.
There'll probably be some underlying explanation that we're just not smart enough to realise it normally is.
I suppose. Basically, bottom line is like we're both pretty sure that there's something out there in space, but we probably never find out in our lifetime. You reckon that's the lesson to take away?
No, I don't think we're going to find intelligent life on our time. What I probably think is going to happen in our lifetime is nuclear fallout.
Wow, that went really grim really fast.
Yeah, it did, lol.
What's the lesson to take away, kids? Buy a fallout shelter.
It must be on the roadmap, surely. But probably the main reason why I say that is because coal. Well, it probably may not happen depending on what people want to do. But the main reason why I say that is because coal, oil, and all the main fossil fuels are running out. So for us to actually make electricity. So unless if we get off our asses and actually do something about renewable energy, it's gonna be a problem.
Aye. It's giving them a fair bit of motivation, I reckon. You know, they say that they're running out, but at the same time, like, the planet will be making more, so we might run out of it definitively, but like when we start switching to like shit like renewable energy, the planet will start to make some more. So like say in a couple of thousand years, if we start digging up, we find some new pockets.
Yeah, but by the time the Earth's made enough oil, coal, and all the rest of it for us to gather, we'll have probably created a system where we can just get renewable energy anyway, so we don't need that anymore. The problem is at the moment we're too dependent on it, so we need to create that system.
Aye, well, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. Because like wind, the problem with wind, I mean, this is why I draw on City Skylines experience.
Lol.
Because like the problem with wind turbines is they don't create enough power for probably how much they cost, and you need quite a lot of them in one area. And there's always the argument of people going on about, oh, they're a nice grow on the landscape, they lower down my house values and blah blah blah. They're just not worth it because they probably don't produce enough energy for what they're worth, and people are always going on about, oh, they're an eyesore and they ruin my house value and blah blah blah. So
it does fairly annoy me. Like
they're probably just not worth it.
You remember the bus ride to Dinnington?
Yes.
Right. Well, I went on that one year longer than you did, right? And in that time, they put up several wind turbines on the route. Kind of took it out of it for me.
They can, but I still don't think that's worth. It's like hydroelectric power. That's kind of alright. Problem is, building a dam is ridiculously expensive, and maintaining it is ridiculously.
There's already a dam near here. There's already a dam near here.
No, but I'm talking about. Yeah, you can use existing dams. That's fair enough. But obviously, to make up for the lack of coal and oil power plants, we're going to obviously need to build new power plants. So trying to build new dams is going to be way expensive and hard to maintain. Not to mention the fact that once you've dammed up a river, you can't dam up that river. There's only so many effective rivers that we can dam up. So that's probably not viable. Solar's not bad. Problem with that is you need big power plants, and obviously they only work during the day, so you kind of are a bit bummed there.
Nuclear fission.
That would be my next point. That's probably the best way to go in terms of producing the electricity. Obviously, the reason why we don't do that is because there's only two main big reasons why we don't do that. One, nuclear waste. It's basically impossible to get rid of.
They don't even get rid of it. Like, they just store it somewhere in America, near Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that too. And then obviously the risk of,
Mutation?
well, I suppose that as well, but I
Explosions?
was more well, yeah, I suppose nuclear meltdown.
Like Chernobyl?
Yeah, basically. That's the problem with nuclear power. Everyone thinks, oh, if they're going to build a nuclear power station, it's just going to become like Chernobyl. But to be honest, that was so long ago, and we've come such a long way.
Wasn't that
since
long
then.
ago? It's only 1986.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, not in terms of like time period. Yeah, it wasn't really that long ago. But I'm thinking more of in terms of technology advancing.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
we've
see what you
come
mean there.
in that terms, we've come a long way since then. So I believe that we'll be able to prevent and stop that from happening again.
I mean, like
If we
fail-safes.
can do that, then the only big downturn of nuclear power, as far as I can tell, is the waste. Which, if we can dispose of it effectively and efficiently enough, then there's absolutely no wrong thing about nuclear power. It produces a shitload. It doesn't require a lot of shit to maintain.
Well, that being said, like what you say, like if you can find out a way to like stop it happening, but until then, they're not going to really go for it. And even if we do, there's always going to be the risk that it will.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be that risk. But
I mean, like Chernobyl had a
it's
ton
not
of
gonna
fail-safes. I mean, like it was during a safety test that when it happened. Mind you, for that safety test, they turned off all the safety systems, which, looking back now, they're thinking wasn't that safe.
Yeah.
Aye. So they probably shot themselves in the foot with that one.
I suppose thermal power might not be too bad as well. I've just thought of that.
I never really got thermal power.
You just generate power from heat, don't you?
Yeah, I know what it means, but like I never got how it worked.
I don't know how it works, but I always just thought, why don't we just put a big freaking like lid on a volcano and then just generate power from that? Though now I think about it, if you put a lid on a volcano, it's probably not going to be too happy about that.
No. That's if you try to contain a volcano's going to go fuck this, and it's like blow its top, and that's something you really don't want to happen.
There must be a way to dig a hole into the ground near the
Magma.
yeah, and generate thermal power from that.
Well, thing is, it's all. I mean, you can't just dig a hole and come into a cave full of magma. It's all pressurized, isn't it? If you dig a hole and reach magma, it's going to shoot right up.
Yeah, I think that's what they were scared of.
Same with oil. Everything, every pocket of everything, like oil and magma and everything, it's all high pressure. So that's why it
When you
spurts
strike
up.
oil, that's why. Yeah, when you strike oil, it like explodes. Well, it doesn't explode, but it like shoots out of the ground.
Yeah, well, if you strike magma, you're not going to get Texans running around shouting "Yee-yaw!" and waving a 10-gallon caps. You're going to get people running for their fucking lives because you just made it rain fucking fire. Tell you what, what you're saying about oil and all that though, how we're running out, you have to think that's probably going to set us a fair bit back going into space though. Like getting back up to the topic of space, how are we going to get there if we've got no fuel to do it?
And then that brings me back onto my point of more sci-fi versions of travel.
Yep, yeah, we get
hyperdrive, wormhole.
Yeah, but it does only work when you're in space. You can't hyperdrive while you're on the planet. Otherwise, you'll suck. Otherwise, you'll run the risk of Otherwise, you'll run the risk of sucking a planet in with you.
Just find a way to not do that then.
I see. You need to find a way to get into space where it doesn't matter what shit you do. I mean, like, did you ever see that Star Trek movie? The first one they did, like to revamp the series.
I probably should watch them, but no, I haven't.
You know, for someone who's not really a big Star Trek fan, I actually enjoyed them more than I thought I would.
I'm about to say Star Trek, Star Wars.
Thing is, they found this red matter, and with it, you could if you set it on fire, you could make a black hole. They did this, and a planet got blown up, and then they threw some red matter down at another planet, and just kind of like inverted in on itself. And that's what will happen if you start trying to mess around with wormholes and black holes. while you're on the planet. You need to go to...
And go for... I was about to say go for teleporters instead, but I don't technologically see how they're going to be possible anytime soon.
Now, when it comes to stuff like that, I reckon we're closer to making a wormhole and that. But that being said, we need like 5,000 gallons of fuel just to get out of the atmosphere, or something like that.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be close to hyperdrive first.
Yeah, but hyperdrive is useless if you can't get off the planet to use it.
Yeah, but you'd only need a little bit of fuel or some other means of transport to get it up there.
A little bit by space travel standards, and a little bit by like normal users like you and me, are two very different things. Like I consider putting £10 of petrol in the car quite a lot. They're using
It's a pretty big car we're talking about, though.
Just sat at Shell one day with your car, and then a rocket ship rolls up but next to you, like, "Hey, buddy, I'm just filling up my car." Sat there whistling with fuel pumping back at rocket ship, like,
He's there like for an hour just while it fills up.
Goes to cashier, "Fill up a number 4, please." The total comes to like £1 billion. Like,
well, crap.
Well, crap. Don't worry, Uncle Sam's paying for it. That's it. I think they get all their petrol like tax free off the government. The person in charge of the petrol station, he could just ring America up and say, "Where's my fucking money?"
Yeah, I suppose not only that as well. Onto a different topic. Well, sort of. When oil does go, cars are gonna go as well. So you won't be able to produce diesel or petrol.
Nah, cars won't go. Well,
that is when the electric car will come into it.
No. I can't bear the thought of electric cars. I mean,
It's gonna have to happen at some point.
Well, they already have happened.
Yeah, I know, but they're not commercially viable at the moment.
It's just not something I could see myself owning. It's same with this push button start thing. I just don't like it. I like the feel of a key, like turning the engine over.
Yeah, well, the car my brother owns, which I'm insured on to drive, has a push button start.
I could never deal with it. I want to twist it around and listen to the engine revving. It's just traditional for me.
Yeah, but I suppose everyone's got their own tastes, because I'd rather push a button. It's just easier than turning a key. Because the problem I had before is, obviously I'm 6'5", and it's really difficult for me to get comfortable in a car. So when I got into it, my knees were basically up the sides of the steering wheel, and especially my right knee was blocking the entrance for where I inserted said key, so I couldn't actually turn the engine on effectively enough. Whereas a button start is a lot easier for me, but that's probably not me. That's just the fact I'm really tall and tough.
I'm saving my dad's car. I have to squeeze into the back. And on the buses is a fucking nightmare. Anyway, back what I was saying about the electric car. Electric cars already exist, but so does economical fuel. I hear they take shit out of fire fats and refine it and that to make like eco fuel. All that stuff for algae they keep making. It works, but I'm not sure if it could be used in a spaceship, because that uses like some really special type of petrol.
Yeah, but then when you talk about eco fuel, you've also got to make sure it's good for the environment. And it doesn't destroy the ozone layer. We're going on about global warming and all that shit.
Well, it wouldn't be called eco-fuel if it wasn't. Mind you, at some point we've got to find some way to get off the planet that doesn't waste a ton of shit. Like, hell, even that iron drive thing could be used to make it more powerful enough, or self-replicating fuel.
That's another problem we've got. We've only got this one planet, which at the moment it's not doing too good. Let's be honest. We want to either try and make this planet better that we're on at the moment, or take off and get to another planet.
Yeah, thing is though, like it's not the planet we're fucking over, you see. Like nature's adaptable; it'll power through whatever shit we throw at it. It's basically ourselves that are fucking over.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure if nuclear winter comes, nature's not going to do shit against that.
Aye. It's not going to do shit to help us either. That being said, I mean, like, you've heard of colonization plans, like they're trying to get to Mars, terraform it, and trying to see if they can start a colony on there.
Yep, and that swiftly brings me back onto TerraVenture. Look it up.
Yeah, no, not TerraVenture, terraforming.
Hmm.
You know what terraforming is, right?
Yes, but that's...
They throw a ton of dirt and a load of water onto a
teleport
planet and then
us
just see if
first.
it grows something on it. What?
I think we'll get to teleporters first, technologically speaking, before we get to terraforming. Teleporters is moving one thing to somewhere else. You could do that in your own
But it's not as easy as that, Stephen.
Terraforming is we're talking about an entire fucking planet.
Doesn't even have to be that. You know when they like take a bit of desert land and like pump a load of water and that onto it to make it into farmland? That's basically terraforming. So if they can just, we've already sort of cracked it. If we can just do that on an interplanetary scale, we're more or less sorted.
Interplanetary scale.
But you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, but I think the scale is kind of a joke.
Well, like, it's easier to terraform something than it is to like take all the particles of that and send it by some sort of signal to somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen. I mean, like, to go on a sci-fi bend about it, you've seen those things like where they teleport something, it goes wrong, and it's just a horrible mutated inside-out thing, and it comes out the other end.
I feel like you're just referencing Steins Gate here, where they tend to go.
More or less. I mean, like, I was thinking of you ever see Galaxy Quest?
No.
Like a teleporting thing, they test it on a pig that's on a planet, or pig-like creature anyway. And when it gets onto the ship, it's inside out, and then 5 seconds later it explodes. I'd never want to be teleported. I mean, the risk of something going wrong is just too big.
That's like the same as Time Machine. Like, of all the technology stuff we've spoke about, like teleports, terraforming, and
iron drives and wormholes and
yeah, time machines is the last thing we're gonna get onto.
Time machine wouldn't do much good in the conversations we've been having. I mean, like, it's all about like getting to different planets and trying to fix one. If you make a time machine,
I know.
Jump backwards or forwards, so we'll still be on the same planet.
No, but I was thinking more about technology in general. Because I kept referencing through the conversations, will we get to an ion drive, a hyperdrive rather first, or a teleporter first as a method of transport to get to another planet? Like, in terms of technology advances, time machine is the last one we'll probably come to, and one that I hope we never do.
There's been a ton of shit. I mean, like, you've seen sci-fi. Every time someone goes back in time, they do something wrong and it fucks everything up.
Yeah, I have seen Steins Gate. Thank you very much.
I was thinking Butterfly Effect.
Well, that too, but I was more referencing Steins Gate, and yeah, that just solely creates World War III.
I've not seen all of that yet, but you know,
spoilers. Whoops.
I don't get.
Albatross. If I find one.
Right. And then moving back onto what you were saying about like time travel. Time travel is basically last thing we need. We need to find a way to get to other planets.
That'll be the last in terms of technology, which we'll get to, and I hope we never do.
Why do you hope we never do? Because
of Steins Gate is my main example, but it just, that gives someone.
I suppose, but then again, that will probably trying to get there.
Thank God it exists in science fiction and not here, because at least teleporters, there's not a great deal you can do with teleporters, unless if you find some way of one-way teleportation, because the idea of there's 2 points, whereas You could just have a one-way teleport, sort of like in Star Trek. Like, you just have the teleport pad on the ship, but you can still teleport people down onto the surface, even surface to receive.
Did you ever see that the first movie they did?
No, I said I haven't watched any of the Star Trek movies, but I probably should have.
No, not the new ones, the old ones.
Yeah, the only thing I
thought
can
you just
remember
read
off
the
the
reboot.
old movies.
The
only thing I can remember off the old movies is just "Come on!" and that's it. It's literally like
same here. Mind you, I watched the old them when as ITV2 or something.